Hi, this is Aubriana from GamesKeys.net. I'm excited to share with you the story of Lies of P, a game that will take you on an emotional journey of Pinocchio's adventures. Let's dive in. The game begins when a group of alchemists visit the fishing village of Krat and discover Ergo, a magical mineral within the relic of Trismegistus. The people of Krat harness Ergo as a power source to create automated puppets, which they export to other countries, transforming Krat into a wealthy city. A puppet named Arlecchino kills a child's parents in a cruel experiment to test the consequences of disobeying human orders. Sophia discovers a puppet named Pinocchio in Geppetto's hidden laboratory at Krat Central Station. She uses her unique abilities to power up the puppet and instructs him to reach the Hotel Krat. Pinocchio encounters Geminin on the train, and Sophia requests that he bring Geminin along with him. On his way to the hotel, Pinocchio faces off against the Parade Master. In the hotel, Pinocchio meets Sophia, who tasks him with finding Geppetto to halt the puppet frenzy. She also gives Pinocchio a moon phase pocket watch to protect him during his journey and uses ergos to enhance his abilities. Later, he encounters Polendina, Antonia, and Eugenie in the hotel. Pinocchio then departs the hotel, embarking on his quest to find Geppetto. After searching, Pinocchio discovers Geppetto hiding in his horse carriage on the Alchemist bridge. After defeating Mad Donkey, Pinocchio meets Geppetto, who instructs him to defeat the scrapped watchman at the Krat City Hall before returning to the hotel. Pinocchio engages in combat with the scrapped watchman at the Krat City Hall. Afterward, Pinocchio and Geppetto return to the hotel together. Geppetto activates the full functionality of Pinocchio's special heart. To stop the frenzy, Geppetto assigns 3 tasks to Pinocchio: rescuing his friend Benini, checking on survivors in the Moonlight Town and Mulam districts, and stopping the puppet production. As Pinocchio moves deeper in the Venini factory, he defeats King Fuko and stops the puppet production. He then rescues Venini and his puppet. Venini informs Pinocchio that a puppet army is moving towards the Sant Frangelico Cathedral Church in Moonlight Town. On his way to the cathedral, Pinocchio encounters Giangio, who requests his help in finding the gold coin fruits to cure his petrification disease. Upon arriving at the St. Frangelico Cathedral Library, Pinocchio finds one survivor, Cecil. Upon reaching the cathedral's main chamber, Pinocchio finds that the Archbishop has transformed into a monstrous creature. He engages in combat and defeats the monster. Pinocchio then learns that Simon Manus's machine is extracting ergo from the Krat's population, mutating the disease. Upon returning to the hotel, Sophia tasks Pinocchio with investigating the Malum district. In the Malum district, Pinocchio forms an alliance with a black cat and a red fox to defeat the nefarious Black Rabbit Brotherhood. However, his new companions leave him mid-journey. Now, Pinocchio faces the carcasses alone. Next, he reaches the Black Rabbit Brotherhood's lair. After defeating the elder brother, the other brothers run away, carrying their wounded brother. Pinocchio enters their hideout. In the rear chamber, he discovers a portrait that looks like him. Pinocchio picks up the portrait, and it reveals a hidden passage leading to the Hotel Krat. In the backyard, Pinocchio encounters Giangio, who reveals that he has located the golden fruit tree, but is unable to pick the fruit due to his illness. Pinocchio plucks the golden fruit from the tree. Pinocchio returns to Geppetto at the hotel, showing him the portrait. Geppetto instructs Pinocchio to defeat the King of Puppets on Rosa Isabel Street to stop the puppet frenzy. Geppetto hangs the portrait on the wall, marking the completion of all tasks. Pinocchio obtains the street key from Antonia and heads to Rosa Isabel Street. Inside the opera house, Pinocchio confronts the king, who attempts to persuade him to join his side. Pinocchio refuses the offer. Next, Pinocchio defeats the king in a fierce battle. Afterward, he claims the Romeo King's necklace as his own. Upon exiting the opera house, Pinocchio finds Geppetto waiting outside. Geppetto instructs him to head to the grand exhibition to find a cure for the disease. Back at the hotel, Pinocchio presents the necklace to Sophia. At the grand exhibition, Pinocchio engages in an intense fight with a cyborg human. He then rescues a girl named Belle and sends her to the Hotel Krat. Finally, Pinocchio defeats the formidable champion Victor. Simon Manus appears, revealing that they are harnessing the petrification disease to accelerate human evolution. He taunts Pinocchio, saying that if he wishes to stop him, the Isle of Alchemist awaits. Pinocchio embarks on a journey to find the Isle of Alchemist. Meanwhile, Venini uses ergo waves to communicate with Pinocchio, explaining that he has discovered a vehicle to reach the island, but needs a golden ergo to fuel it. He hints that the ergo can be found in the barren swamp. Pinocchio ventures into the barren swamp. There, he encounters Alidoro, who warns him about the green monster lurking in the area. Pinocchio engages in a fierce battle with the green monster and emerges victorious, recovering a golden ergo shard in the process. On his return to the hotel, Pinocchio defeats the corrupted parade master in an intense showdown. Upon entering the hotel, Sophia reveals that the stalkers have kidnapped Geppetto. Pinocchio heads up to the upper floor, where Eugenie discloses that Alidoro was the one who disabled the hotel's security system, allowing the stalkers to enter. Antonio warns that the stalkers have already accessed the rare secret base entrance. Pinocchio then meets with Venini and hands over the golden ergo, which Venini uses to create a golden lead-acid battery capable of powering a submarine to reach the Isle of Alchemist. Antonio provides Pinocchio with instructions on how to play the piano to reopen the secret base entrance. Pinocchio plays the piano, successfully opening the secret path. He ventures through the cave to rescue Geppetto. The Black Rabbit Brotherhood awaits Pinocchio, and he engages them in a fierce battle, emerging victorious. He then encounters Alidoro in the cave, who reveals that a black cat and a red fox are transporting Geppetto to the Isle of Alchemist via submarine. Pinocchio utilizes the golden ergo to power up the submarine and sets course for the Isle of Alchemist. Upon arrival, he discovers Sophia's projection, created through her ergo powers, already present on the island. She explains that she chose to assist Pinocchio after witnessing Krat's condition and joins forces with him to rescue Krat. Her final wish is to be freed from her tormented existence. As Pinocchio climbs up the massive tower, he confronts Lexasia the Complete, an evolved woman. With his newfound strength, Pinocchio defeats her effortlessly. Upon arriving at the Arch Abbey, Pinocchio discovers Sophia's actual mutated body. To grant Sophia's final wish, Pinocchio observes her ergo into his body, bringing an end to her life. Along the way, Pinocchio defeats the Red Fox in battle. Afterward, he rescues Geppetto from his cell, who reveals that Simon is attempting to transform himself into a god using his machine. Geppetto instructs Pinocchio to stop Simon. Pinocchio ascends to the top of the tower, where he finds that Simon has evolved into a powerful being and has attached the arm of God to himself. Pinocchio defeats Simon in his initial form. Simon activates the arm of God, but Pinocchio still manages to defeat him in his second form. Before his death, Simon reveals that he knew Sophia, and only she understood his powers. After his demise, Pinocchio recovers the Arm of God relic. A lift then transports Pinocchio to the underground level of the tower. There, he discovers that Geppetto had planned everything following the death of his son. Geppetto had developed various theories to revive his son, requiring a massive amount of ergo and the Arm of God relic. He could only obtain this ergo by inducing the puppet frenzy and defeating Simon. Now he needs his final ingredient, Carlo's heart, which is embedded within Pinocchio's body. After his son's death, Geppetto converted his heart into a puppet heart, which is why he never bound Pinocchio with the Grand Covenant. Geppetto requests that Pinocchio surrender his heart, but Pinocchio, now transformed into a human, refuses completely. Geppetto activates a powerful puppet he created for Carlo's body. Pinocchio inflicts significant damage on the puppet. The puppet attempts to destroy Carlo's heart, but Geppetto intervenes to stop it. Pinocchio then extracts the puppet's core from its body and destroys it, ending the threat. Geppetto apologizes to his son and passes away. The game ends with this scene.